No, it doesn't matter. Rental limited pace for 700. One is Little Marion, owned by Carl McDougall, driver Kenny Arsenault. 2, Sammy Down, owned by Milton Downey of St. John, your driver, Steve Mason. The 3 on your monitor is Leprechaun, her owner-driver Steve Mahar. Horse 4 is Star Trekker, owned by Hugh Baird of Hampton, driven by Sean Shannon. The 5 is Willie Go, owned by Deborah Kirkpatrick of St. John. Driver is of Upper Golden Grove, the driver Paul Banks. Entry James E.B., owned by Norman Brian Moore in the sulky. Race number 1, 6 minutes to post. Crane Rental limited pace.
Field of 7 is Little Marion with Kenny Arsenault, Sammy Down, Steve Mason, Leprechaun, and Steve Mahar. Star Trekker, Sean Shannon. Willie Go with Rick Armstrong. Hillview Hope with Paul Banks. James E.B., Brian Moore. Here they come. They're off. Little Marion has the lead in along the rail up from the far outside. Hillview Hope drives on, racing second. And Little Marion's off stride, scattering the field. Sammy Down is on the run. Leprechauns off stride. Up front, though, Hillview Hope is the leader. Star Trekker up, challenging now on the outside as he wings for the top. And Sammy Down his third at the rail. Little Marion racing fourth. Leprechaun. Then Willie Go and James E.B. trailing as they race on to the opening quarter. And pacing out on top, Hillview Hope by that quarter, 32-3. They drive into the top turn. Pacing with the lead, it is Hillview Hope. Then Star Trekker racing second. Sammy Down his third. Little Marion is fourth. Leprechaun out to challenge now, rushing on from fifth as they swing off the top turn. And now they come driving through the stretch, racing to the half, and Hillview Hope shows the way. Then Star Trekker sitting pretty his second. Sammy Down his third. Leprechaun on the outside fourth. Willie Go follows cover behind him. Then Little Marion and the trailer James E.B. that half 105-2, and around the turn they go, racing to the 5/8. Hillview Hope showing the way. Then Star Trekker second. Leprechaun on the outside drives on third as they leave the 5/8. Sammy Down his fourth. On to the 3/4. Hillview Hope stepping out. Now she leads by a 2. Star Trekker is racing second. Leprechaun strong on the outside goes to second. Star Trekker now third. Hillview Hope, the leader by the 3/4 pole, 137-3. Top turn, Hillview Hope. Leprechaun now second. Then at the rail, Star Trekker racing a third. Willie Go is fourth. Sammy Down his fifth. Then it is Little Marion, James E.B. At the head of the lane, it is Hillview Hope, leading now by 2.5 and making it more. Hillview Hope, Leprechaun, Willie Go, Little Marion coming on, but at the line it is Hillview Hope winning this one. Then Leprechaun, then Sammy Down, Willie Go, Little Marion, Star Trekker, and James E.B. Time for the mile, 2:08-2. Now, the winner of our first race, the McDonald Crane Rental Pace, it's number 6, Hillview Hope. Gray filly, she's 2 years, but Joe G. Hanover from Hope. She by Distant Thunder. Owned by the Hillview Farm of Upper Golden Grove. Trained and driven by Paul Banks. The filly steps to a maiden record 2:08 and 2. Hillview Hope and Paul Banks. Tremendous, eh? Fantastic.
Rating now, race 2 starters, the Kirby White Memorial. 1 is Elky's Mark for Blair Saunders of Truro. 2, Cocan Lady T, owned by Leo Gallant of Cocan. Euless Gallant drives. The 3 entry, Lodi Down, entered by Steve Mason. Steve does the driving. Horse 4 is Tulla, owned by C.D. Dawkins and J.R. Pentland. Ronnie Gass in the sulky. The 5 entry, Clamshell, owned by Cassandra Fram of Kingston. Your driver, Steve Mahar, and 6 is Knutsford Katie, entered by Don Sweet of Alberton PEI, Kenny Arsenault in the sulky. 6 starters, race 2, the Kirby White Memorial Pace. Triactor Quinella, win place and show betting. Race 2 post time in 7 minutes.
Now the starters for the second race, the Kirby White Memorial. Moving in behind the gate, starting gate is moving. And we approach the top of the stretch for the field of 6. There's Alky's Mark with Blair Saunders. Cocan, Lady T, and Euless Gallant. Lodi Down, Steve Mason. Tulla with Ronnie Gass. Clamshell with Steve Mahar. And Knutsford Katie and Kenny Arsenault. Here they come. They're often pacing on top of the Alky's Mark in along the rail. Tulla racing second, moving up in between horses. Driving on to third is Clamshell. They swing around the turn. Alky's Mark now up along the inside. Cocan Lady T is second. Tulla between horses third, and Clamshell 3 wide. Under a tight rein. Racing on the fourth, but going on as they drive on to the quarter pole. They're fanning out 3 wide for the lead. Alky's Mark is the leader. Tulla in between horses. And on the outside, Clamshell, the quarter, 31 seconds. They drive into the top turn. Alky's Mark cuts it out, leads a length. Clamshell parked is second on the outside. Now Tulla's moved to the rail, is racing a third there. Cocan Lady T has fourth. They tip off the top turn now. Here they come through the stretch. They are racing to the half. The leader is Alky's Mark. Now moving to the rail. Taking cover second is Clamshell. Tulla has third. Cocan Lady T, Lodi Down, and Knutsford Katie on the move, and they were by that half in 102, and around the turn they go, racing for the 5/8. Alky's Mark the leader, but 2.5. Clamshell is second. Knutsford Katie strong on the outside. She drives on to third, is going on. Knutsford Katie now second. She's winging for the lead as they drive to the 3/4 pole. Alky's Mark holding up 3 parts of a length. Knutsford Katie challenging second. Clamshell at the rail is a third. Lodi Down his fourth as they go by the 3/4 pole. 1:33 and 3. Top turn now, Alky's Mark holding. Knutsford Katie challenging second. Clamshell has a third. Lodi Down is racing fourth. They come on by the 7/8. They're making the turn for home. And it is Alky's Mark with the lead. Then racing second, Knutsford Katie. Here comes Clamshell up on the far outside. Going to be tight at the line. Alky's Mark, Clamshell. It is Alky's Mark, Clamshell. Then Knutsford Katie, Lodi Down, Cocan Lady T, and Tulla. Time for the mile. 2:04 and 2. And the result of the second race now official. Second race official. Alkie's Mark, your race winner. Cocaine Lady T was fifth. Lodi down fourth. Tulla was sixth. Clamshell second. And Nutsford Katie was third. And now parading the winner of the second race. Alkie's Mark, Brown Colt 3 by Happy Alkie from the Pep Squad, Sheba Teller's Mark. Owned, trained, and driven by Blair Saunders of Truro. First winning trip for Alkie's Mark, a maiden record, 2:04 and 2. Here are your race times. A quarter, 31. Half, 1:02. Three quarters, 1:33 and 3. Mile and 4 and 2. Maiden record for Alkie's Mark. Card should read 154-623. Mile and 4 and 2. Third race is next.
Rating now are the third race starters, the R.G. Blanchard Farms Incorporated Pace, one Sporty Yankee for owner-driver Doug Queen of St. John. Two entry is Joint Venture owned by Alan Sweet of O'Leary and Mark Ramsey of Cornwall PEI. Ronnie Gass drives. Three is All She Rode owned by Kathy Mitchell of St. John. Driver Tony Watson. Horse 4, Time to Fight owned by Ron Wallace of Kings County. Note the driver change. Doug Falcons drives. The 5 is Heart Sings Dixie, now owned by Mark Haig of St. John. Driver Gilles Barrieau. 6 Edgewater Sambro, Rod Jameson drives for owner Bill Nicholson. 7 Calhoun Clipper, owned by Bob Kyle of Calhoun, the driver Steve Mahar. Horse 8 has been scratched. Race 3, the R.G. Blanchard Farms Incorporated Pace. Post time in 6 minutes.
For the stretch, 7 starters. Sporty Yankee with Doug Queen. Joint Venture, Ronnie Gass. All She Wrote with Tony Watson. Time to Fight, Doug Falcons. Heart Sings Dixie with Jill Barrio. Edgewater Sambro, Rod Jameson. Calhoun Clipper, Steve Mahar. Here they come. They're off, stepping to the top of this Joint Venture. Time to Fight, charging up on the outside, driving on second and along the rail. Sporty Yankee has a third, and All She Wrote has a fourth. They swing around the turn, pacing with the lead. It is Joint Venture. Time to Fight looks for a hole, gets it along the rail, is racing second there. Sporty Yankee has third. Rushing up on the outside, now moving fourth, goes Calhoun Clipper. Drives on to third and is going on as they race to the quarter pole. And Joint Venture, the leader by the quarter in 31 and 2. They go into the top turn. Joint Venture. On the outside, Calhoun Clipper. Time to Fight third at the rail. Sporty Yankee is fourth. All She Wrote is a fifth. Heart Sings a Dixie. At Edgewater Sambro trailing. And they're tipping off the top turn it now. They come racing to the half. Two leaders nose to nose on the inside. Joint Venture on the outside. Calhoun Clipper parked at the rail third. Time to Fight. Up on the outside following cover comes Sporty Yankee. Then up the rail, All She Wrote, Edgewater Sambro, and the trailer Heart Sings Dixie. They were by the half, 1:04 and 2. Around the turn they go to the 5/8. Joint Venture the leader. Calhoun Clipper hanging a second. Time to Fight right there third. Locked in though. On up the backstretch. Racing to the three-quarter pole. Sporty Yankee tipping out 3 wide. And Edgewater Sambro goes out 4 wide. They're 4 wide as they drive to the three-quarter pole. Joint Venture holding that lead inside. And Calhoun Clipper, 3/4, 137. Top turn, Joint Venture, Calhoun Clipper. Time to Fight moving up on the inside at third. Edgewater Sambro's a wide fourth. All She Wrote is fifth. Heart Sings Dixie and Sporty Yankee it now. They swing for home. Joint Venture, Time to Fight, Calhoun Clipper, Edgewater Sambro. Joint Venture's going to hold to win this one. Coming to the line, it is Joint Venture, Time to Fight, Calhoun Clipper, Edgewater Sambro, All She Wrote, Sporty Yankee, and Heart Sings Dixie. Time for the mile, 2:07. Parading now the winner of the third, number 2, Joint Venture. Bay pacing horse 8 years by Forrest Skipper from Respected. She by Cavalcade. Owned by Alan Sweet of O'Leary, Prince Edward Island. Mark Ramsey of Cornwall, PEI. Trained by Alan Sweet with Ronnie Gass driving. It's the first winning trip this year for Joint Venture, winning in 2:07.
On the track now, the starters of race 4, the Doug Hatfield Memorial Pace. 1 is Township Duke, owned by Lynn Cameron of St. John, your driver, Brian Moore. 2 is Calavrita Gambler, owned by Paul Dares of St. John, tonight's driver, Gilles Barrieau. 3, Tignish Boy, owned by Bob Gordon of Elmsdale, PEI, and Roger Kugelin, Norris Rogers in the sulky. The 4 is Corky N, owned by Kevin Peters, North Wiltshire, PEI, driver Ronnie Gass. 5 is Winter Lad, owned by Stacy Dara of Charlottetown. Steve Mahar drives. The 6, Tim Hunter, owned by Giselle Bernard of Moncton. Driver Gordy Hennessy. The 7 entry, Royal Minx, owned by Christopher Davies of St. John. Driver Todd Trites. The 8 entry, Cocan Coverboy. He's entered by John Gallant of Cocan, Euless Gallant in the sulky. Race 4, the Doug Hatfield Memorial Pace. 5 minutes now to post. 5 minutes. Starters for race number 4. Approaching the top of the stretch, the Doug Hatfield Memorial. 8 starters, Township Duke, Brian Moore. Calavrita Gambler, Gilles Barrieau. Tignish Boy, Norris Rogers. Corky N, Ronnie Gass. Winter Lad, Steve Mahar. Tim Hunter. Gordy Hennessy, Royal Minx with Todd Trites, and from the outside, Cocan Coverboy, Euless Gallant. 8 starters. Here they come. They're off on a good start. In between horses is Tignish Boy. Up along the rail is Township Duke. Far outside is Corky N. Calavrita Gambler. They race into the first turn. And Township Duke, your leader. Up on the outside is Tignish Boy second. As they pass the 8th pole, Calavrita Gambler on the rail racing third. Then Winter Lad settles in for 4th, and back 3 lengths to racing 4th is Corky N. As they go racing on to the opening quarter, then it's Tim Hunter. Royal Minx, your early trailer is Cocan Cover Boy past the quarter. In 30-1, rounding the top turn, up front and cutting it out, Township Duke leads Batu, Calavrita Gambler second. Tignish Boy on the rail racing third, then Winter Lad has fourth, Corky and fifth. Then on the rail, Royal Minx out and moving comes Tim Hunter, and following suit comes Cocan Cover Boy off the turn and through the stretch, racing towards the opening half-mile marker. Township Duke, your leader. Racing second on the rail, Calavrita Gambler. Tignish Boy outside again, racing on from third. By the half, 101 and 4 into the turn as they make their way to the 5/8. Township Duke up on the outside, Tignish Boy to second, and that's Royal Minx off stride. As they pass the 5/8 pole on up the backstretch to the 3/4, it's Township Duke, Tignish Boy. Calavrita Gambler nailed to the rail, racing third. On the outside, Winter Lad has fourth. Up the inside is Corky N. Then it's Tim Hunter, Cocan Cover Boy, and Royal Minx, 3/4 marker. 133 round the top turn towards the stretch drive. Township Duke, 3 wide, bold move from Winter Lad, up now to second. On the outside, he's at the leader's wheel. Tignish Boy in between horses third. Calavrita Gambler on the rail fourth. Down the stretch they come, it's Township Duke. On the outside, Winter Lad. Tignish Boy is still there third. Deep stretch, Township Duke moving away now. Township Duke takes the Doug Hatfield Memorial. Second, Winter Lad. Third, Tignish Boy. Then it's Calavrita Gambler, Tim Hunter, then Corky N. Royal Minx and Cocan Cover Boy. Time for the mile, 2:03 and 1. Inquiry sign has been posted looking at the breaking horse at the 3/4 pole. Inquiry sign has been posted. Hold your tickets, please. And back to Victory Lane now, your unofficial winner of race number 4. It's a 1 entry, Township Duke, a bay horse. He's 7 years by Wanamaker, out of Pleasure Palace, she by Kawartha Skipper. Owned and trained by Lynn Cameron of St. John, Brian Moore driving. Township Duke gets his 3rd win of the year, equaling a season's best, 2:03 and 1. Township Duke and Brian Moore take our Doug Hatfield Memorial pace in 2:03 and 1.
1-4-3.
On the racetrack now, the starters of race 5, the Tony Haig Memorial pace, goes for 7:50. Triactor Quinello win place and show, post time in 6 minutes. The 1 entry, Hughes Return, owned by Fred Ganong of St. John. Note the driver change, Elmore White in the sulky. The 2 is Silverwood Misty. Gordy Hennessy drives for owner Charles Symes. 3 is Well John, owned by Albert Goodine and Andrea Dolan. Driver Steve Mahar. The 4 entry, Inverness Beauty, owned by Donald Kerr with Todd Trites driving. The 5 is Keyed Up, owned by Ken Norwood of St. John, your driver Sam Hodgin. 6, Riverside Marcy. Tim Merzetti drives for owner Bob McNeil of St. John. The 7, Woodmere Genie, owned by Brian Foster of Hampton, with Doug Falkins driving. An 8, Swingin' Sue Down, owned by Mark Haig of St. John, your driver, Tony Watson. Once again, folks, race number 5 is the Tony Haig Memorial Pace.
Approaching top of the stretch. Hughes return on Elmore White. Well, John, Steve Mahar. Inverness Beauty, Todd Trites, keyed up with Sam Hodgen. Riverside Marcy, Tim Mercetti. Woodmere Genie, Doug Falcons, Swingin' Sue Down. Tony Watson. Here they come. They're off, and Inverness Beauty steps out, goes for the lead, has it. Up on the outside of him, Riverside Marcy and Hughes return. They're 3 wide, neck at neck into the turn. Hughes return on the rail. In between them, Inverness Beauty and 3 wide, Riverside Marcy. They're 3 wide up the backstretch going to the quarter. Inverness Beauty in between horses grabs the top. Riverside Marcy 3 wide. She's racing second. Hughes return has third. Swingin' Sue Down is a fourth. Keyed up racing fifth. Well, John, Woodmere Genie by that opening quarter. 29 and 2 and around the top turn. Pacing with the lead now, it is Riverside Marcy. Inverness Beauty has second. Hughes return is third. Then Swingin' Sue Down, keyed up. Well, John on the move, and Woodmere Genie trailing through the stretch. They come. They're racing to the half. Riverside Marcy showing the way. Then Inverness Beauty racing is second. Up on the outside, Well, John to third, and driving on, going on to second. Riverside Marcy the leader as they go racing 5.5 in a minute and 4/5. They're into the turn, racing to the 5/8. The leader is Riverside Marcy. Well, John at her wheel, challenging a second. That Inverness Beauty. Swingin' Sue Down follows covers. A good fourth right now to third. Inverness Beauty is a fourth. That's Woodmere Genie moving to the outside, driving fifth. Then Hughes return and keyed up now trails. 2 leaders nose to nose for the top as they race on by the 3/4 pole. And 132 by the 3/4. 3 wide, Woodmere Genie rushing on there. 3 wide around the top turn. In between horses, Well, John at the rail, Riverside Marcy 3 wide. Woodmere Genie, and they're 3 wide as they come heading for home. It is still Riverside Marcy. The Well, John, Woodmere Genie strong on the far outside, grabbing the top now. It is Woodmere Genie to win this one at the line. Woodmere Genie, Riverside Marcy, Well, John. Hughes return. Swingin' Sue Down, tight between Inverness Beauty and keyed up. Time for the mile, 2:04. Inquiry sign posted, possible pylon violation by Elmore White with number 1 Hughes return as the field raced into the first turn.
On the racetrack now, parading the starters of race 6, the Fredericton Horsemen's Association pace. 1 is Island Rage, owned by Adrian Saunders of Truro. Blair Saunders drives. 2, Dusty Davy, for owner-driver David Baldwin of St. John. 3, Landfair Goldie, owned by Jack Berkeley, the driver Ron Gass. 4 is Cocan Joey, owned by Leo Gallant of Cocan, Euless Gallant driving. 5 is Norwell Nimble. Gilles Barrieau drives tonight for owner Paul Dares. 6, Brian Down, owned by Milton Downey, driver Steve Mason. The 7, Norwell Playboy, driver Steve Mahar. The 8, Seawind Maestro, as announced, has been scratched due to sickness. 7 starters here in race 6, the Fredericton Horsemen's Association pace.
Island Rage and Blair Saunders, Dusty Davy, Dave Baldwin, Landfair Goldie, Ronnie Gas, Cocan Joey, Euless Gallant, Norwell Nimble, Gilles Barrieau, Brian Down, Steve Mason, Norwell Playboy, Steve Mahar. Here they come. Blair off and Dusty Davy winging for the lead, but from the outside, rushing for it and taking it, Norwell Nimble is the leader into the turn. Norwell Nimble pacing out top. Island Rage along the rail racing second. Dusty Davies third up the backstretch now. Driving on to the opening quarter. Norwell Nimble at the rail. Island Rage racing second, parking and going to the top. Island Rage now the leader. Norwell Nimble backs off and has found the rail. Is racing second there. Norwell Playboy racing at third. Dusty Davy is at fourth. The quarter 29 and 3. Racing round the top turn. Island Rage, Norwell Nimble, Norwell Playboy. That is Dusty Davy, Landfair Goldie, as they tip off the top turn now. On through the stretch, here they come, racing to the half, and it's Island Rage in command, has the best of it by a length. Norwell Nimble is racing second. Norwell Playboy has a third. Dusty Davy out moving fourth. Landfair Goldie, Cocan Joey, and the trailer Brian Down. They were by that half. 1:01 and 3 and around the turn. Racing to the 5/8, pacing with the lead. On top by a length and a half by Island Rage and Norwell Nimble sitting a pretty second. Norwell Playboy racing a third. Then up on the outside, Cocan Joey going on from fourth. Landfair Goldie, then Brian Down, and now trailing Dusty Davy as they drive on by the three-quarter pole. Island Rage the leader by that marker. 1:33 and 2, top turn Island Rage. Norwell Nimble on the outside, Cocan Joey, Norwell Playboy, Brian Down, and Landfair Goldie and Dusty Davy at the 7/8. They are making the turn for home, and it is Island Rage with the lead. Island Rage, Cocan Joey driving second, Norwell Nimble is third, but Island Rage is going to hold to win this, and he does. Island Rage, Cocan Joey, Norwell Nimble, Norwell Playboy, Landfair Goldie, then Dusty Davy and Brian Down. Time for the mile, 2:03 and 3. And parading now. Winner of our 6th race, the Fredericton Horsemen's Association pace. It's number 1, Island Rage. The mare 4 by Newt Slobel from the Farriers. She by Walt Hanover. Owned by Adrian Saunders of Truro. Trained by Fred Saunders with Blair Saunders driving. It's the 3rd winning trip this year for Island Rage. She wins tonight. 203 and 3.
The 3 is Sudden, owned by Dave McGuigan. Driver Brian Moore. The 4, Shalimar Sentinel, owned by John McMillan of Hampton. Elmore White drives. 5 is Helen Angus Elite. Jill Barrieau drives for owner Jack Page. 6, Paranormal, owned by Claire Sweet of O'Leary PEI. Kenny Arsenault drives. 7 is Beverly Retzemag for owner driver Ricky Collins. And 8 is Timoneu, owned by Ron Chamberlain of Rossay, your driver Steve Mahar. 8 starters, 7th race, post time in 6 minutes. Starters for the 7th race at the gate. Gate is moving. All set now for race 7, the BT Hamilton Memorial Pace, a field of 8, approaching the top of the stretch. From the rail out, Twinbee John Boy, Doug Falkins, Noble Chance, Tony Watson, Sudden, Brian Moore, Shalimar Sentinel, Elmore White, Helen Angus Elite, Jill Barrieau, Paranormal, Kenny Arsenault, Beverly Retzemag, with Ricky Collins and Timoneu, Steve Mahar. 8 starters, here they come. They're off, and from the far outside, Paranormal goes for the early lead. Up on the inside, though, is Noble Chance. They race into the first turn, and up front and cutting it out, Noble Chance, and he's off stride and on the run. Everybody seems to get by okay as Paranormal now takes command. Noble Chance off stride, and now racing on to second is Sudden. Third now on the outside goes Shalimar Sentinel. Noble Chance gets back pacing in fourth. Outside Helen Angus Elite from fifth. Then it's Beverly Retzemag, Timoneu in the early trailer. Is Twinbee John Boy. That opening quarter in 30 seconds. Rounding the top turn and out now by 3.5 lengths is Sudden. He's your leader. Racing second is Paranormal. Third on the rail is Shalimar Sentinel. Moving off the rail now from third. Then Helen Angus Elite up on the outside. Fourth, Noble Chance. Inside fifth, Beverly Retzemag. Outside sixth. Then it's Timoneu following. And Twinbee John Boy still trails. They're halfway home and up front and cutting it out. It's Sudden by the opening half in 1:01 as they race into the turn. On way to the 5-8, Sudden, your leader. Paranormal, he's had the garden spot. Racing second. Outside third, Shalimar Sentinel. Up on the outside, Helen Angus Elite to fourth. Noble Chance is fifth, and it's Beverly Retzemag, Timoneu, and Twinbee John Boy onto the 3/4, and on the outside, that's Shalimar Sentinel. Fast as a ball, quickly grabs the top as they race on to the 3/4, and they're by that marker, Shalimar Sentinel. 3/4 and 32-1 around the top turn. It's Shalimar Sentinel. Helen Angus Elite at his wheel, driving second. In between them, Beverly Retzemag is now third. Timoneu looking for room is Paranormal. Off the 7/8 for home. It's Shalimar Sentinel. Helen Angus Elite. Here comes Beverly Retzemag. Up on the inside is Paranormal. Down the stretch, it's Shalimar Sentinel holding. Shalimar Sentinel, then Beverly Retzemag, Helen Angus Elite, Timoneu, and it's Paranormal, Twinbee John Boy, Noble Chance, and Sudden. Time for the mile. 2:02 and 3. Inquiry sign has been posted looking into the breaking horse. Just going to the 8th pole, Noble Chance. Once again, the inquiry sign has been posted. Please hold all tickets until the official result of your 7th is official. And we parade back now your unofficial winner of race number 7, the BT Hamilton Memorial Pace, to number 4, Longshot Salamar Sentinel. He's a brown gelding, 6 by Tarragon Hanover, out of Gay Rennie, she by Gay Sam, owned by John McMillan of Hampton, trained by Elmore White. Elmore White does the driving. Shalimar Sentinel gets win 1 of the season here at Exhibition Park, his first win of the year in the BT Hamilton Memorial Pace. Time of the mile, 2:02 and 3. Once again, Shalimar Sentinel, driver Elmore White, owner John McMillan. They take our 7th race, the BT Hamilton Memorial Pace, in 2:02 and 3. On the track now, folks, the starters of race number 8. Race 8 is a condition pace. They go for 1100, the Horseman's Canteen pace, Triactor, Quinella, win place, and show betting. Your 8th race goes to post in 6 minutes. Number 1 is Rick Gambler, owned by Boyd McDonald Produce of Croppo PEI, your driver, Danny McDonald. The 2 entry is Shy's Big Guy, owned by Kathy Mitchell of St. John and Ron Petley of Hampton, driver Tony Watson. There's your 3 horse, I'm Riley, owned by Doug Falcons Jr., Doug Falcons Sr. driving. Next is number 4, Builder Star, owned by Abel Arsenault of St. John West, your driver Gilles Barrieau. 5 is Lonesome Monster, owned by Wayne Bustard of St. Stephen, driver Steve Mahar. Robert Laffin has our 6th entry, Windfall Rambo, for owner Pat Eastwood. 7 is Bob's Bunny, owned by Milton Downey, Steve Mason aboard. And horse 8, Mr. Tom Mack, owned by Harry and Charlotte Trenholm, driver Danny Romo. 8 starters for our 8th race. It's the Horseman's Canteen Pace, a cooler presentation.
Starters for the 8th, behind the gate, approaching top of the stretch. Rick Gambler, Danny McDonald, Shy's Big Guy, Tony Watson. I'm Riley, Doug Falcons, Builder Star with Gilles Barrieau, Lonesome Monster and Steve Mahar. Then Windfall Rambo with Robert Laffin, Bob's Bunny and Steve Mason, and Mr. Tom Mack, Danny Romo. Here they come. Clear off Rick Gambler with the lead, and that's Bob's Bunny winging for it from the far outside. Windfall Rambo goes up between them. They're 3 wide into the turn. Rick Gambler shows the way. Now up along the inside, Shy's Big Guy gets to 2nd. Bob's Bunny 3 wide. Drives on 3rd. Is going on as they race on up the backstretch for the quarter. Pacing out on top, Rick Gambler. Bob's Bunny parked, hangs a 2nd. Shy's Big Guy racing a 3rd. Then Windfall Rambo. I'm a Rowdy. Mr. Tom Mack, Builder Star, Lonesome Monster, opening quarter 29 and 2. And on the outside, Bob's Bunny grabs the top now, but he is parked. Bob's Bunny, Rick Gambler racing with them on the inside. Then Shy's Big Guy is right there third, and they tip off the top turn. Here they come through the stretch, racing to the half, nose and nose for the lead. Inside Rick Gambler, outside Park is Bob's Bunny. Gets a nose in front. He is the leader as they go racing by the half. In 58 seconds, Bob's Bunny getting the lead, but still parked as they swing into the turn to the 5/8. Bob's Bunny, Rick Gambler, they're at it nose to nose again. Shy's Big Guy looking good. He's right there third. Then we go back 5 lengths to Windfall Rambo. I'm Riley's on the move. Racing on to the three-quarter pole. Bob's Bunny gets in front by 3 parts of a length. Rick Gambler, thick goes Shy's Big Guy moving from third. I'm Riley closing fast. He is a fourth. Windfall Rambo is fifth. By the three-quarter pole in 1:28, and the 2 leaders are at it again, nose to nose and toes to toes, and on the inside, Rick Gambler outside. Bob's Bunny. Here comes Shy's Big Guy. Here comes I'm Riley. It is Bob's Bunny coming to the top now. Bob's Bunny, Rick Gambler, Shy's Big Guy, I'm Riley at the line. A tough trip for Bob's Bunny. He wins it. I'm Riley, Shy's Big Guy. Rick Gambler, Windfall Rambo, Mr. Tom Mack, Builder Star, Lonesome Monster. Time for the mile. 1:58 and 4. And parading now, the survivor of a rough overland trip, winner the 8th race, number 7, Bob's Bunny, bay pacing horse. 5 years for Precious Bunny from Mr. Rick Mary, she by Springfield. Owned by Milton Downey of St. John, trained by Steve Downey, Steve Mason driving. Win number 3 this year for Bob's Bunny, 1:58 and 4. And the result of the 8th.
On the racetrack now, the starters of race number 9. Race 9 named in honor of Beansy Barton. The Beansy Barton Memorial Pace going for $850. Number 1 is Prime Grant, owned by Alfred Barrieau of DF, driver Wilby Gil Barrieau. The 2 entry, Sweet Doll, owned by Blaine McKenna, your driver Norris Rogers. The 3, Artie's Bobby, for owner-driver Steve Mahar. 4 is Sunny Mac, owned by Joanne Davies. Driver is Todd Trites. 5 is Swift Storm, owned by Mark Grant and Kenny Robinson. Mark does the driving. Horse 6 is Daly Town, now owned by Brian Foster of Hampton. Your driver, Doug Falkins. Horse 7 is Kirby's Trick. Kirby's Trick, owned by Deborah Kirkpatrick of St. John. Driver Tim Rossetti, and there's your 8, Reckless, owned by Boyd McDonald Produce of Croppo PEI. Driver Danny McDonald. 8 starters, your 9th race, the Beansy Barton Memorial. It's a cooler presentation to the winning horse, now about 5 minutes to post. Starters for the 9th at the gate. 8 is moving. Fields assembling for the Beansy Barton Memorial as they approach the top of the stretch on the rail. Prime Grand, Jill Barrieau. Sweet Doll, Norris Rogers. Artie's Bobby, Steve Mahar. Sunny Mac, Todd Trites. Swift Storm, Mark Grant. Daly Town, Doug Falkins. Kirby's Trick, Tim Rossetti. Outside, Reckless, Danny McDonald. 8 starters, the Beansy Barton Memorial. Here they come. They're off, and from post 5 goes Swift Storm for the early lead. He'll be challenged, though, into the first turn. The rail horse Prime Grand has the lead now. He's leading a length and a half. Swift Storm is racing second. Reckless moves in to be third. Then it's back about 4 lengths to Sweet Doll. She is racing fourth. Then racing fifth along the rail is Artie's Bobby, Sunny Mac, Daly Town, and your early trailer Kirby's Trick. As they make their way to the opening quarter, up front by a length and a half, it's Prime Grand. By the opening quarter, 29 seconds flat up front. Under a tight rein, your leader, Prime Grand. Swift Storm looks good, racing second, then back 2 lengths to Reckless in third, then back another 3 lengths to Sweet Doll in fourth. Artie's Bobby looks to come off the rail from fifth rather, then it's Sunny Mac, Daly Town, and Kirby's Trick as they come off the turn and through the stretch towards the opening half. Looks like a quick half for Prime Grand. He's your leader, half-mile marker. That half reached in 59 seconds. Racing into the turn onto the 5/8 pole now and up front. And cutting it out, Prime Grand, Swift Storm sitting second. Reckless Rough is in third. Then Artie's Bobby now comes to fourth. On the inside, Sweet Doll fifth. She's off stride. Sunny Mac. And back to Daly Town off stride as well, and Kirby's Trick. Onto the 3/4 and under a high rein now is Prime Grand. He moves out by a length and 3/4. 3/4, 1:29 and 1. Top turn, Prime Grand, your leader. Swift Storm racing second. Artie's Bobby now on the outside third. On the inside, Reckless fourth. Sunny Mac fifth. Kirby's Prime Grand. Swift Storm will come off to challenge. Prime Grand on the inside. Swift Storm will give him a go on the outside, but they're not catching. Prime Grand holding at the wire. It's going to be Prime Grand. Swift Storm. Looks like Artie's Bobby for third, then Reckless, Kirby's Trick, Sunny Mac. And still to come, Daly Town and Sweet Doll. Time for the mile. 1:59 and 4. Inquiry sign has been posted looking at the breaking horses throughout the mile. Once again, looking at the breaking horses in that race, race 9, the inquiry sign has been posted. And coming back to victory lane now, your unofficial winner of race 9, the Beansy Barton Memorial Pace. It's number 1, Prime Grand, a big gelding 5 by Matt Scooter. Out of Prime Time Lady, she by Cam Fella. Owned by Alfred Barrieau of DF. Alfred Barrieau, the trainer. Jill Barrieau drives this evening. Prime Grand takes a new lifetime mark this evening, 1:59.4. Congratulations. Owner trainer Alfred Barrieau, driver Jill Barrieau. Prime Grand a new lifetime mark of 1:59.4 in the Beansy Barton Memorial Pace. Pleased to have on hand this evening. Son Chris is in the winner's circle to congratulate the owners and driver of Prime Grand. Also, Chris's mom Lois in attendance this evening. The race named and one of the greatest fans we've ever had here at Exhibition Park, Beansy Barton. The race in his honor. Congratulations, Prime Grand. He takes the Beansy Barton Memorial Pace. New record, 1:59.4. Coming to the track now are the starters for race number 10. Your 10th race, the Minolta Pace, going for 1,200. Triactor Quinella, win place and show betting. Race 10 now down to 3 minutes of wagering time. 3 minutes on race 10. The one entry, J.L. Cook, owned and driven by Tim Merzetti. 2 is Ida Named Her Different for owner-driver Rick Armstrong. The 3 entry, Rasputin's Dream, owned by Darren Trainer, driver Len McGuigan. 4 Lighting, owned by Ron Legier of Moncton. Note the driver change, Louis Bellevaux drives. The 5 is Viking King, owned by Blair Saunders. Blair does the driving. Your 6 is Cowboy Dream, now owned by Norma Coles and Boyd McDonald Produce. Driver Danny McDonald. Horse 7, Township of Fire, owned by Hector White of Cornwall PEI. Kenny Arsenault in the sulky. 7 starters for race 10, a $1,200 purse. It's the Minolta Pace, and we go to post in about 3 minutes. Starters for the 10th at the gate. Gate is moving. All set for race 10, the Minolta Pace. Behind the gate, approaching the top of the stretch, J.L. Cook, Tim Merzetti. Ida Named Her Different, Rick Armstrong. Rasputin's Dream, Len McGuigan. Lighting, Louis Bellevaux. Viking King, Blair Saunders. Cowboy Dream, Danny McDonald. And from the outside is Township of Fire, Kenny Arsenault. 7 starters. Here they come. They're off, and another good start. In between horses is Lighting. Up on the inside is Ida Named Her Different, and 3 wide is Cowboy Dream. Into the first turn. On the inside is Ida Named Her Different, and that's now Lighting. He goes to the top now as they pass the 8th pole. Cowboy Dream outside, driving on from 3rd. Back about 6 lengths to Viking King in 4th. As they move on to the opening quarter, and that's Cowboy Dream backing off, gets to the rail. 3rd as they pass the opening quarter. Lighting by that marker. In 28-2, up front, Lighting your leader. Racing 2nd, Ida Named Her Different. Cowboy Dream on the rail 3rd. Viking King closing the gap in 4th. Then on the rail, Rasputin's Dream 5th. Here comes J.L. Cook from 6th. And following cover is Township of Fire as they come off the turn and through the stretch. Here they come to the half-mile marker with Lighting. Ida Named Her Different 2nd. Out from 3rd again, there goes Cowboy Dream out to challenge. Viking King a closer 4th as they pass the half. In 59-2, they race into the turn on way to the 5/8. It's still Lighting. Cowboy Dream up on the outside, challenging 2nd. Ida Named Her Different 3rd. Viking King has 4th. J.L. Cook has come to 5th. Then it's Township of Fire, and back as they race on to the 3/4 is Rasputin's Dream, but it's still Lighting inside. Cowboy Dream outside, and that's Viking King. He swings 3 deep from 4th, quick. As a ball, he is going on. Lighting inside. Viking King at his wheel, driving 2nd. They race neck and neck around the top turn. Inside Lighting, outside Viking King. Cowboy the 3rd. On the outside, Cowboy Dream 4th. Down the stretch on the inside, Lighting. Outside, Viking King now. Viking King to the top, neck and neck. Viking King shows a nose in front. It looks like Viking King. Viking King, he wins this one. Lighting 2nd. Ida Named Her Different, Township of Fire, J.L. Cook. Rasputin's Dream. Time for the mile. 1:59 and 4. Inquiry sign has been posted, a possible pylon violation involving the 2-horse. Ida Named Her Different. Hold all tickets, please. The inquiry sign has been posted. Also, the judges have received a claim of foul from the driver of horse number 2, Ida Named Her Different, Rick Armstrong, claiming foul against number 4, Louis Bellevaux, driving Lighting. Once again, the objection sign has been posted and the inquiry sign looking into a possible pylon violation on the 2, Ida Named Her Different. Back to the wire now. Your unofficial winner of race 10 is number 5, Viking King. He's a bay horse, 6 by Niatros, out of Likely Lizzie. She by Abercrombie. Owned, trained, and driven by Blair Saunders of Truro. Viking King gets his 5th win of the year. A season's best, 1:59 and 4. Congratulations, Blair Saunders. He's the owner, trainer, and driver of Viking King. They take our 10th race of Minolta Pace in 1:59 and 4, a season's best.
Ladies and gentlemen, Exhibition Park, the St. John Exhibition Association, pleased to pay tribute to 2 late great harness racing champions, the late Francis McIsaac and Rufus Barrieau. This memorial continuing in their honor. Number 1 is Dexter's Image. On by Doug Hill of Charlottetown, Kenny Arsenault driving. Number 2 is East River George. On by George Corrigan of Charlottetown, Len McGuigan driving. Number 3, River Jean, owned by Brent McClellan of Charlottetown of McClellan Farms of Hunter River. Steve Mahar driving. 4 is Island Sean, owned by L.A. Clark of Sydney Mines, Danny Romo of Shubenacadie, Danny Romo driving. Number 5, Riverview Cam Neely, owned by Dr. Barry Ling of Charlottetown, Paul McDonald driving. Number 6, Nyanza, owned by Wayne Webby of Dartmouth, Mark Webby driving. And number 7, Dexter's John, entered by Dave O'Brien of Charlottetown, Earl Smith driving. 7 starters, 11th race, first of 3 eliminations for the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. Holy mac. Now the starters for the 11th race, first $5,000 elimination of the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial, approaching top of the stretch. Dexter's Image, Kenny Arsenault. East River George, Len McGuigan. River Jean, Steve Mahar. Island Sean, Danny Romo. Riverview Cam Neely, Paul McDonald. Nyanza, Mark Webby. Dexter's John, Earl Smith. Here they come. There off of East River George. Skipping is on the run and going to the top. It is Island Sean up along the inside. Dexter's Image racing is second. They swing around the turn. Island Sean pacing out on top, leads by 2. Dexter's Image racing second. East River George racing a third now. River Jean has a 4th. Dexter's John is a 5th, and Riverview Cam Neely and Nyanza trails as they drive on to the quarter, and moving to the top there is Dexter's Image, the leader by the opening quarter, 29 and 1. Top turn, Dexter's Image. Then racing second, it's Island Sean. East River George is third. River Jean On the move now from fourth, taking cover behind him, Dexter's John. Riverview Cam Neely on the move. And Nyanza trails along the rail, and through the stretch they come. They are racing to the half. Up front, Dexter's Image. Here comes River Jean, strong on the outside, lapped down the leader, bidding for the top, and is the leader now as they race on by the half. 1 minute flat. They're into the turn. River Jean on top on the outside, but up on the inside, Dexter's Image grabs the lead again. River Jean outside, racing on third. Island Sean has a third, then East River George. Up on the outside, Dexter's John. Riverview Cam Neely. Nyanza trailing, driving to the three-quarter pole. Leader is Dexter's Image. River Jean out on the 2 leaders. Neck at neck, nose to nose by the three-quarter pole. 129, a 2 top turn. Inside, Dexter's Image. River Jean hitting hard on the outside second. Island Sean right there third. Dexter's John driving up, closing in on the leaders. He is a Riverview Cam Neely fifth. Heading for home, it is Dexter's Image. River Jean. Island Sean coming up in between horses and coming on strong. Dexter's Image, Island Sean coming on. There's going to be too tight to call. Looks like maybe Island Sean, Dexter's Image, River Jean, Dexter's John, Riverview Cam Neely, Nyanza, and East River George. Time for the mile, 1:59 at 1. Judges have posted the inquiry sign. Reason for that, East River George off stride leaving. And the photo sign has been posted as well. Photo for win.
We're going to walk right back into the winner's circle with trainer Joey Green and driver Danny Romo with Island Sean. Danny, just a great race for this horse. Tell me about the way that the mile went. You let somebody go by you just past the quarter, and things worked out very, very well.
Yeah, this colt lead pretty good, and in order to make the final, I had to figure I had to get up the front end because, just some pretty good colts in there, and I thought if I got placed well, he'd have a shot to make the first 3.
How do you feel about his chances heading into another race here tonight?
Well, there's a lot of good colts in there, but I guess you can't get none if you're not in it.
And post position is going to be very, very important as well.
Yeah, he just colt will follow along. If they don't go too fast, he'll follow along. But if he draws outside, it's going to be a rough battle.
That's a great trip. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Danny Romo and trainer Joey Green heading back into victory lane. 1:59 and 1, the time for the mile for Island Sean.
Now we parade the starters for the 12th race. Second elimination of the Barrieau McIsaac stake. Number 1 is Sunnyside of Street, owned by Glenn Smith of Truro. Rod Jameson driving. Number 2, the Godfather C, owned by Messrs. Goodine, Whitehead, Miles, and Smythe of Fredericton. Steve Mahar driving. Number 3, Cruising Dexter, owned by Anthony and Noreen Stymist of Beaverbank, Nova Scotia. Danny Romo driving. Number 4. Well, this Don's for You, owned by Lee Blakey and Don Smith of Truro. Phil Pinckney driving. Number 5 is Dexter Down, owned by Milton Downey of St. John. Steve Mason driving. Number 6, Island Storm, owned by Mel Willis of Galt, Ontario. Gary McDonald driving. And rounding out the field, number 7, Billy B, owned by Dave Bishop of East Riverside. Jill Barrieau driving. 7 starters for the 12th race. 6 minutes to post. Second $5,000 elimination for the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. Behind the gate, approaching the top of the stretch, there's Sunny Side of Street with Rod Jameson, the Godfather C, and Steve Mahar. Cruising Dexter with Danny Romo. This Don's for You with Phil Pinckney. Dexter Down, Steve Mason. Island Storm, Gary McDonald. Billy B, Jill Barrieau. Here they come. Clear off, an Island Storm goes swinging for the lead. In along the rail, Sunny Side of Street, he has it. The Godfather C gets away third. Sunny Side of Street has the lead. Island Storm winging for it, strong on the outside. Island Storm gets a nose in front. Up the backstretch, a battle for the top. Island Storm is the leader. Sunny Side of Street racing a second. The Godfather C right there third. This Don's for You is fourth as Island Storm takes him by the opening quarter. 28 flat. They drive into the top turn. Island Storm a length and a half. Sunny Side of Street. Then the Godfather C is racing third. This Don's for You is fourth. Cruising Dexter Down. And Billy B trailing the field. And they're tipping off the top turn it now. Here they come through the stretch, racing to the half. It's Island Storm in command. Sunny Side of Street racing second. The Godfather C out to challenge now, making a move from third. This Don's for You follows cover fourth, and they go by the half in 59 and 1. And around the turn they go, racing to the 5/8. Island Storm shows the way, has the best of it, a length and a half. And Sunny Side of Street and the Godfather C outside of him. And the Godfather goes to second now. Sunny Side of Street locked in third of the rail. This Don's for You is fourth. They drive on to the three-quarter pole. It is still Island Storm. Godfather. Then 128 and 3 by the three-quarter pole. Island Storm, Sunny Side of Street sitting pretty now. Has a two-hole, has room to move. The Godfather C racing a third, cruising a fourth. Heading home, Island Storm. Here comes Sunny Side of Street, charging there and they're battling neck and nose to nose. It's going to be tight. Looks like Sunny Side of Street, Island Storm, this Godfather C. This Don's for You. Cruising Dexter, Billy B, and Dexter Down. Time for the mile. 57-1. New track record for a 3-year-old pacing colts. 1:57.1.
Rod Jameson says ho on his way back to Victory Lane. You didn't say that too much in that last mile, Rod. It's a new track record here at St. John.
What?
For 3-year-old colts, 157 and 1. You've just taken 2 seconds off of this horse's record. He was just perfect tonight.
Yeah, he was perfect. We got off the gate in the race stride. We got off and got around the turn. Gary kept on going. The other horse come there, made it interesting, this horse. And I got out in the last stride to do the job he's supposed to do.
How do you feel about his chances going for $55,000 a little bit later?
He's as good as anyone on the track. Like, no doubt about it. This is just a good horse.
And
If he gets beat, it won't be that he didn't try it, and, just be a better horse beats him, that's all.
congratulations on this one and good luck in the next one.
Thanks very much.
That's Rod Jameson driving sunny side of street to a new track record for 3-year-old colts here at Exhibition Park Raceway, back upstairs to Ingham Palmer.
And parading down winner of the second elimination of the Barrieau McIsaac stake, sunny side of street, chestnut coat by Warm Breeze from Canal Street. She by On the Road Again. Owned and trained and bred by Glenn Smith of Truro. Rod Jameson driving. The colt gets his 6th winning trip this season. New win race record for him. A new EPR track record for 3-year-old pacing colts. 157 and 1. And now we parade for you the starters in the 13th race. Third elimination of the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. Number 1 is Man 2, owned by Dr. Trevin Shive of Elmsdale, Nova Scotia. Claire McDonald driving. Number 2, Ronda's Buddy, owned by Wayne Webby of Dartmouth, with Robert Laffin driving. Number 3 is Woodmere Bruiser, owned by Messrs. Snow, Anderson, and Ivany of Nova Scotia. Rod Jameson driving. Number 4, K.R. Jordan, owned by Bob Tilley and Les Mott of St. John. Jill Barrieau driving. Number 5 is Airborne A.J., owned by the Parkdale Stable of Charlottetown. Kelly Arsenault driving. Number 6, out the draw gate, Nicholas Mendel, owned by Romeo Boucher of Moncton and Edmund Gagnon of Robichaud. Gord Hennessy driving. And rounding out the field, number 7, Paris Reflection, owned by David Lund of Moncton. Steve Mahar driving. And once again, the starters for the 13th race, third $5,000 elimination of the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. At the gate, gate is approaching the top of the stretch. We've got a field of 7. Man 2 with Claire McDonald. Ronda's buddy, Robert Laffin. Woodmere Bruiser, Rod Jameson. K.R. Jordan, Jill Barrieau. Airborne, A.J. Kenny Arstow. Nicholas Mindale, Gord Hennessy. Paris Reflection, Steve Mahar. Nicholas Mindale on the run, back pacing. Clear off an Airborne. A.J. quickly wings forward. He grabs the top. Man 2. Racing is second. K.R. Jordan up on the outside third. Ronda's buddy is fourth at the rail. Woodmere Bruiser. That is Paris Reflection as they swing by the 8th pole now and drive on up the backstretch. Racing on to the quarter. Airborne A.J. pacing out on top. Then Man 2 racing a second. Up on the outside, Woodmere Bruiser driving on third and going on. Airborne A.J. the leader by the opening quarter. At 29 and 4 into the top turn, Airborne A.J. Woodmere Bruiser parked second. Man 2 third at the rail. Ronda's buddy has a fourth. K.R. Jordan racing a fifth. Paris Reflection and Nicholas Mindale trailing. Off the turn they come driving through the stretch. Racing to the half, and it's Airborne A.J. in command. Woodmere Bruiser getting the air, parked second. Man 2 right there third. Then Ronda's buddy K.R. Jordan half and 58 and 4. Driving into the turn, racing for the 5/8. Airborne A.J. Man 2 racing second. Woodmere Bruiser drops to a third. Ronda's buddy is a fourth. They're by the 5/8 now, and it's on up the backstretch to the 3/4. Airborne A.J. Man 2 racing second. Woodmere Bruiser holding third. Ronda's buddy K.R. Jordan. Then Paris Reflection, Nicholas Mindale. Airborne A.J. by the 3/4. 1:28 and 3. Round the top turn, Airborne A.J. by 2. Then Man 2 racing a second. Ronda's buddy has come to third. Then the head of the lane heading for home. It is J. Here comes Man 2 charging up a strong second. Airborne A.J. Man 2 coming to him. It's going to be tight at the line. Man 2, horse 1 tonight. Then Airborne A.J., K.R. Jordan, Ronda's buddy, Woodmere Bruiser, Paris Reflection, Nicholas Mindale. Time for the mile, 1:58.
We'll walk back into victory lane with Claire McDonald, just discussing the events in this last race with Huey Murphy. And Claire, this horse just did this in a very, very relaxed way.
Yeah, well, it was a pretty easy race for him, and the way the race worked out, you know, he got a good trip, and we didn't have to use a whole lot leaving. Some of those other colts roughed it up maybe a little more in the first 2 eliminations, so hopefully it'll stand him in good stead for the final.
He appeared to be relaxed. Was that?
Yeah, he a little bit, keyed up just when they called him at the gate the first time. He gave his head a shake and snapped a head pole, but once I was able to let him roll in behind the gate, he was fine.
And
He's a pretty smart colt.
can he go faster than this? 158 the final time.
Well, he did that awful easy. He just more or less, Kenny cut, either, moderately easy fractions with pretty near a race from the top of the stretch home, and he finished up, fresh, and he'll be good in the turn after the race. So I think he come back strong the next heat.
We know that he can pace faster. Of course, he did it here earlier in the week, but I guess the real test for a 3-year-old colt is that double dash.
Yeah, and none of them have done it, so no one knows how anybody's going to handle it. But this horse had less racing probably this year than some of the others. He may be a little fresher than, hopefully he'll be a little fresher than the rest.
That fella at the head of the horse isn't going to like me too much. I get his name mixed up.
That's Huey McKay. He's been called a lot of names, probably.
Good luck in the championship,
Okay,
Claire.
thanks, Claire.
That's Claire McDonald with man 2, 158, the final time.
And parading now, winner of the 13th race. Number 1, man 2, proud colt by Falcon Sealster from Goldfinder. She by Ralph Hanover. Owned, trained by Dr. Trevin Shive of Elmsdale, Nova Scotia. Claire Haley McDonald driving. Win number 7 this year for man 2, winning this elimination in 158.
And we parade now the 14th race starters, the Maritime Farrier Pace. 1 is Sorcier Fantasia for owner-driver Blair Saunders. 2 is McChamp, owned by Milton Downey, Steve Mason aboard. 3 has been scratched. 4 is R.B. Gladimir, owned by Rosaire Barrieau of Dieppe, Jill Barrieau with the lines. 5 has been scratched. The 6th entry is Ankenheiser, owned by Bernard McDonald of Mount Stewart PEI, the driver Ronnie Gass. The 7 entry, Rapid Shock, owned by Boyd McDonald Produce of Crapo PEI. Danny McDonald drives. And 8, Alfred, owned by Ken Fram, driver Steve Mahar. 6 starters for our 14th race, the Maritime Farrier Pace. $1,600 the purse. We go to post in about 3 minutes. Demir, Ankenheiser, Rapid Shock, and Alfred. 6 starters for the 14th, going to the gate. Starters for the 14th at the gate. Gate is moving. A field of 6 starters, the Maritime Farrier Pace. They approach the top of the stretch. On the rail, Sorcier Fantasia, Blair Saunders. McChamp, Steve Mason. R.B. Gladimir, Jill Barrieau. Ankenheiser, Ronnie Gass. Rapid Shock, Danny McDonald. And Alfred, Steve Mahar. 6 starters, here they come. They're off, and from post position 4, R.B. Gladimir goes for the early lead. Up on the inside is Sorcier Fantasia into the first turn as they go on to the opening 8th, and that's R.B. Gladimir on the outside. Sorcier Fantasia is not going to let him go without a fight, though. On up the backstretch to the opening quarter, and showing on top now on the outside is R.B. Gladimir. Sorcier Fantasia. He takes him, though, to the opening quarter. Then back about 7 lengths to McChamp in third. That opening quarter in 27 seconds flat. Around the top turn, it's R.B. Gladimir. Up tight second now, Sorcier Fantasia. McChamp is off the rail to challenge from third. Then it's way back to Ankenheiser. He has fourth and out and moving. is Rapid Shock, and trailing Alfred as they come to the opening half. And it looks like a quick half with R.B. Vladimir, your leader. McChamp races second by the opening half, and 57-4 into the turn as they make their way to the 5/8. R.B. Vladimir inside. That's McChamp on the outside at his wheel, driving second. Sorcier Fantasia starts to fade a little bit third on the outside. Quickly, that is Rapid Chuck up to third on the outside. He's making a 3-wide move. Sorcier Fantasia fourth, Alfred fifth, and Ankenheiser far back 3/4 and 3 wide. Rapid Chuck quickly grabs the top. It's Rapid Chuck, R.B. Vladimir outside, McChamp, Sorcier Fantasia, Alfred up the inside, and Ankenheiser coming on is McChamp to second. Inside R.B. Vladimir, Alfred is coming on. Quick as a ball down the deep stretch. Rapid Chuck. Alfred inside. It looks like Rapid Chuck for your winner. Tight for second, Alfred and McChamp. Then Sorcier Fantasia, R.B. Vladimir, and Ankenheiser. Time for the mile. 58-4. And back to the wire now, your official winner of race 14. It's number 7, Rapid Chuck, Bay Gelding. He's 6 years by Freddie Hanover out of Armbro Delziel. She by Jade Prince. Owned by Boyd McDonald Produce of Croppo PEI. Trained by Everett Lowther. Danny McDonald driving. Rapid Chuck takes a new mark this evening. 158-4. That's his 4th win of 1998. A new mark of 158-4 in the Maritime Farrier pace. Congratulations, Rapid Chuck, and driver Danny McDonald, owner Boyd McDonald Produce, and trainer Everett Lowther. A new mark, 58-4.
Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. This one worth $5,000. First of parade number 1, Rhonda's Buddy. With Robert Laffin driving, we'll start from post 3. Number 1, Rhonda's Buddy, starting from post 3. Number 1A is Nyanza with Mark Webby driving. We'll start from post 8. Number 2, Billy B with Jill Barrieau, starting from post 1. Number 3 is Cruising Dexter with Danny Romo, starting from post 2. Then number 4, Woodmere Bruiser, Rod Jameson driving. We'll start from post 4. Number 5 is Riverview Cam Neely. Paul McDonald driving. We'll start 5. Number 6 is Dexter's John with Earl Smith. We'll start from post 6. And number 7 is This Dawn's For You. Phil Pinckney driving. We'll start from post 7. And now the starters for the 15th and behind the gate. Gate is moving, and we approach the top of the stretch. The $5,000 consolation to the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. Billy B. with Jill Barrieau, cruising Dexter, Danny Romo. Rhonda's Buddy with Robert Laffin. Woodmere Bruiser, Rod Jameson. Riverview Cam Neely, Paul McDonald. Dexter's John with Earl Smith. This Dawn's For You, Phil Pinckney. Nyanza, Mark Webby. Here they come. They're off. Rhonda's Buddy busting for and grabs the lead, and This Dawn's For You is swinging for it and on the rail. Billy B is racing a third around the turn, 3 wide. And Nyanza works up way wide on the outside, has rolled off stride, back facing quickly on up the backstretch. Now they drive to the quarter. This Dawn's For You gets to the top. Rhonda's Buddy racing second. Billy B has a third. Cruising Dexter is a fourth. Nyanza up on the outside is fifth. Then Cruising Dexter, they go by the quarter at 29 at 1. And into the top turn, pacing with the lead. This Dawn's For You. Rhonda's Buddy racing second. Billy B has a third. Cruising Dexter is a fourth. Riverview Cam Neely comes to a fifth. Here comes Woodmere Bruiser on the move as they swing off the top turn. On through the stretch they come racing to the half. This Dawn's For You. Here comes Billy B out from third to challenge. Rhonda's Buddy second. Billy B not a second. And Rhonda's Buddy is a third. Then Cruising Dexter is a fourth. The half at 1 minute and 2/5. Then Woodmere Bruiser. Riverview Cam Neely, Dexter's John, and Nyanza trails it around the turn they go. Racing to the 5/8. This Dawn's For You. Billy B is lapped on the leader as they go to the 3/4 pole. This Dawn's For You. Billy B challenging strong on the outside. Then Rhonda's Buddy third. Then Cruising Dexter going on fourth. Riverview Cam Neely, Woodmere Bruiser. Dexter's John 130 by the 3/4 pole. Top turn, This Dawn's For You. Billy B still left on him, bidding strong as second. Rhonda's Buddy up along the rail. Looks for room to move, comes to second now, and they make the turn for home. It is This Dawn's For You. Rhonda's Buddy. Billy B has a third. Cruising Dexter's coming on, but it's going to be tight at the line. Rhonda's Buddy coming on at the line. It's too tight for me to call. Rhonda's Buddy. And This Dawn's For You, too tight to call. Time for the mile. 59-3. 1. And parading now the winner of the Barrieau McIsaac Consolation. Number 1, Rhonda's Buddy. Bay colt by Sherwood Abe from Rocking Rhonda. She by the Papermaker. Owned by Wayne Webby of Dartmouth. Trained and driven by Robert Laffin. It's the 4th winning trip this year for Rhonda's Buddy, stepping to a new win race record, 1:59-3. Number 1 is Dexter's Image. Gordy Hennessy driving. Dexter's Image with Gord Hennessy. Number 2 is Sunny Side of Street with Rod Jameson. Number 3, River Jean with Len McGuigan driving. Number 4, K.R. Jordan and Jill Barrieau. Number 5 is Airborne A.J. Kenny Arsenault driving. Then number 6, The Godfather C with Steve Mahar. Number 7, Island Storm with Gary McDonald. Number 8, Man 2 with Claire McDonald. And number 9, Island Sean. 9 starters for the Maritime's richest harness race, the Barrieau McIsaac Final. Now the starters for the Barrieau McIsaac Final. 55,600, approaching the top of the stretch. Dexter's Image with Gord Hennessy. Sunny Side of Street with Rod Jameson. River Jean, Len McGuigan, K.R. Jordan, Jill Barrieau. Airborne A.J. Kenny Arsenault. The Godfather with Steve Mahar. Island Storm, Gary McDonald. Man 2, Claire McDonald. Island Sean, Danny Romo. Here they come. Clear off Airborne A.J. Quicks off the gate, and he is the leader. Then Sunny Side of Street racing second along the rail, the Godfather. He is up on the outside, racing on the third. Then Dexter's Image is fourth at the rail. Island Storm is on the outside and moving, rushing on up the backstretch. Airborne A.J. He's on top by 2. Sunny Side of Street racing second, parking the Godfather C. Then at the rail, Dexter's Image, Island Storm. Outside, he's parked. They're by the quarter at 27 at 3. Round the top turn, Airborne A.J. The Godfather C parked second. Sunny Side of Street racing a third. Island Storm Park follows cover fourth. Dexter's Image is fifth. They're tipping off the top turn through the stretch to the half. Airborne A.J. Here comes Sunny Side of Street. The Godfather gets to the rail. Island Storm is out fourth. Then it is Dexter's Image, Island Sean, then River Jean, Man 2, and K.R. Jordan. They were by the half in 56 and 2, and around the turn to the 5/8. Pacing with the lead. Sunny Side of Street, Airborne A.J. Island Storm working up on the outside. He is now third. Then the Godfather fourth, Dexter's Image, Island Sean, River Jean, Man 2, and K.R. Jordan. And they are by the three-quarter pole. 126 and 1 into the top turn. Sunny Side of Street, Airborne A.J. Island Storm is a third. Coming to the 7/8, it is Sunny Side of Street. He's leading by 2.5. Airborne A.J. driving on second. Island Storm his third, and they head for home. And it's looking good for Sunny Side of Street. Sunny Side of Street. Then Airborne A.J. and Island Storm and Sunny Side of Street. Rod Jameson winning the Barrieau McIsaac Memorial. Airborne A.J., the Island Storm, K.R. Jordan. Time for the mile. Now the new track record for 3-year-olds, 1:56 and 3.
That was a hard trip?
Yeah.
You know how fast you went?
56.
56 and 3. And that's another new track record for
There it
this
is,
track.
right there.
There it is. He's done it again. And people are very, very happy, as you can well imagine, a $55,000 event. Wicked fractions early, Rod, and your horse was right there. Tell me about the strength of this colt.
Well, like I said earlier, I know he was strong. He only puts out enough to do the job. Like, he's not one to waste speed. He's not hot. I got off on the right foot. Kenny was going 100, so I just let him go. And the other horse there, he was on the outside, like, you know, and Steve wanted in, but just there's no hole. It couldn't get in, eh? So around the turn there, he kind of backed off, and I made him run for it then. I had to take that chance. I had to make him run coming to the half because I wasn't going to be caught in. I didn't think he'd take me. I was coming fast enough, and it worked out good for both of us. So.
It did work out very well. Airborne AJ finishing second and Island Storm third in this race.
Oh, he was third too, was he? That's good.
He was third. Man 2 was a horse that wasn't around, and this is a big deal, I think, because this race hasn't been won by the American-bred horses that have been coming in. The Maritime-bred horses continue to do very, very well, and that makes people feel good. It must make you feel good.
Oh, definitely it does. Like, you know, we breed these things right from scratch here, and, you know, we like to win it, but everybody likes to win it. But he had a bad post position. When he had the 8-hole, you know, you got to lay over the field, and there was no layovers here tonight.
You told me after the elimination that your horse would be one of the best for sure here in this race. You were right. Congratulations. I want to let you get into the victory lane. That's Rod Jameson. He's driven sunny side of street to the big victory, 156 and 3, back upstairs to track announcer Ingham Palmer.
And in victory lane right now, Mrs. Barbara McIsaac and several members of her family and several members of the Barrieau family greeting Rod Jameson and Glenn Smith and sunny side of street. Quite a performance, 2-dash performance by this colt, a son of Warm Breeze from Canal Street. She by On the Road Again. Bred, owned, and trained by Glenn Smith of Truro. Rod Jameson driving, breaking our track record for 3-year-olds twice tonight. First in 157 and 2, coming back again in 156 and 3.